So we are back once more. It is big people and big moments, pivotal events and new revelations. It is House of the Dragon Season 2 Episode 4. We delivered as promised with the expectations of war, confirmation of a paternity and consequences of a hidden affair. Episode 3 ended with Rhaenyra going to meet Alicent by sneaking into King's Landing, some revelations about how she lost her throne, and now I talked about Corlys Velaryon, the sea snake, allied to Rhaenyra, and how important he would be in this war of the houses, but also his philandering ways, despite being shown to be in love with his wife at almost every episode. Well, Rhaenys comes down to the harbor and finally meets Arlene, and she sees the resemblance immediately. Surprisingly, she doesn't even rage or get angry. She's even suggesting that he gets raised in full knowledge of his birthright at the palace rather than working as a commoner at the harbor. Now that's a stark contrast with the way Jon Snow was treated when Ned Stark brought him back from the war, but that's not really important at this point because product of infidelity can't expect to be treated with respect. After all, they are the undeniable evidence of an unfaithful spouse. Now Corlys is trying to regain his control of the conversation. I'm the man of the house, blah blah, etc. But Rhaenys is past that. She just informs him that she's going to Dragonstone to help control the council in Rhaenyra's absence. Now Daemon is one left in Harrenhal doing his best or whatever that seems like to rouse up an army as soon as he can, but it seems like his demons have chosen the right time to finally put him on trial because he's having some strange dreams and seeing visions of things that are not present. He even sees Aemon in his dreams, and it is either he doesn't know what Aemon looks like anymore or his brain is scrambled because this one-eyed man that I can see here does not look the least bit like Aemon Targaryen. So that's the state of affairs with Daemon. He's zoning in and out of reality, conversations are skipping through his ears, and he's generally uncoordinated at the time. But he's still Daemon, so I expect he will pull through. And if the trailer for episode 5 is anything to go by, then Daemon is going back to himself real soon. Then it's back to Team Green. Alicent has finally landed herself in hot water because it seems pregnancy has taken root in her. After rotting all around hours with Criston Cole, what did she expect? But she has secured a moon brew from the Grand Maester under the pretext of it being for someone else, but we can see the eyes of the Maester and understand he has heard the words which are left unsaid, and it is not his place to question them. Up next is the meeting of the small council where Aegon's voice is lost because unsurprisingly he is the slowest one in the room. The other lords are discussing amongst themselves, and hearing this, Aegon realizes that they are concluding on plans he has no idea about. What manner of kingship does he possess then, he's asking himself. Then to add insult to injury, Criston Cole is who he has appointed as his own hand, is corresponding with Aegon, with Aemon without his knowledge, and the battle plans have also changed. Now if that's not enough, he complains to his mother, and rather than support him, she's saying that the kingdom does not need his input so he can continue drinking and chasing after horse. Talk about a slap in the face. She has said everything out loud, what he and everyone else had been thinking. That Aemon is just a ceremonial head of state, while the real governance is left to be done by others because he has no aptitude for it and is unwilling to learn anything useful from those wiser than him. So when you combine all this together, you have a man with the crown and no real power behind it. His advisors do not listen to him. His enemies don't respect him. Even his own brother ridicules him in the meeting by speaking High Valyrian. And when Aegon attempts it, it sounds like he's having a panic attack. I talked about who will be the first to discover Alicent and Cole's affair in the last episode, and now it seems it is finally going to be an open secret at this point. Helaena already caught them in the act. Some of the servants must already know because the servants know everything. The Grand Maester has just brought us some Plan B medicine, and now Salary Strong, newly appointed Master of Whispers, comes to visit Alicent in her chamber, and he sees the empty bottle on her table, as well as her discomfort where she's holding a warm cloth around her belly. So like I said, it is only a matter of time before that affair blows up in our faces. Now Criston Cole has been running around sacking towns and houses, converting them to Aegon's side, by fire by force. And we see the craziness of this reality where this Lord asks him, what sort of man is he to attack his own people? But then these are the times they live in where you must pick a side or die. He's calling Rhaenyra the whore of Dragonstone, but he has a bastard child fermenting in the womb of Alicent in King's Landing. He has betrayed the vows of the King's Guard more times than anyone in this series, and yet he twists his mouth to call someone else immoral. But then that's just one of the first tenets of fascism. Accuse the other side of crimes you have committed or intend to commit, and keep the narrative on your side at all times. Now, Team Black, Rhaenyra's council is still very scattered. Lord Corlys makes a surprise appearance, bringing some semblance of order to the council, and even at that, there is still no clear decision because Rhaenyra herself is missing. So Rhaenyra appears, and the news comes in that Rook's Crest is under attack, a castle dangerously close to Dragonstone, and then Rhaenyra almost makes a dumb decision, just like Aegon did, to fly into battle, but for the intervention of her son and Rhaenys, which prevents her from making a very, very foolish mistake. Rhaenys Targaryen choosing to go is not just a testament to her commitment to fighting for Rhaenys, but also to the strength of Rhaenys' allies. If a 55-year-old Rhaenys has to go into battle, then it means they are dangerously close to losing the war. I think I read somewhere that when the elderly and the infants are getting conscripted into the army, then maybe it is time to stop fighting. But as I said, these are the times they lived in, and both Meleys and Rhaenys are no stranger to battle, so they needed all the help they could get. Aegon, who has seen his power be non-existent in front of his council, then goes to his mother for reassurance, and she doubles down on his uselessness. This was the right time to take matters into his own hands, but not before drinking some alcohol or some Dutch courage and flying straight to the war front. I talked about him doing something rash because of insecurity, and finally it manifests itself in this episode. At the war front, Criston Cole sees his plan messed up as Aegon, atop Sunfire, dashes into battle while Aemond and Vhagar hide in ambush for whatever dragon Rhaenyra will send. Now, Vhagar is the biggest dragon around, so hiding in broad daylight in the bushes was designated for a sneak attack. Rhaenys meets Aegon in the skies. This is an easy mismatch for Rhaenys, who is battle-tested, clear-headed, and has the bigger dragon. She is in the process of killing Aegon when Vhagar shows up, and now she has to pick wisely because focusing on Aegon guarantees her a sure death at the hands of Vhagar. Now, when Aegon sees Vhagar, he's celebrating, thinking he now has a 2v1 against Meleys and Rhaenys, but he forgets he has a vengeful brother who has endured his bullying all these years and now sees his actions on the Iron Throne. This is a perfect time for Aemond to run his fade, and even look at it, the dragons are entangled, so this is a 2-for-1 special. Rhaenys manages to escape the flames, but Aegon takes the brunt of the fire, and we see his face when he realizes that Aemond is not here to help. Meleys tears into the burning Sunfire before dropping them off as Aegon and his dragon fall several hundred meters from the sky into the forest. If he survived any of the burns, the crash would surely be the end of him.
Now at this point, Rhaenys could have left the battlefield or retreated to a safe spot. After all, Aegon was most likely dead, but she knew Vhagar was still out there and so hunting for him. She couldn't defend against a sneak attack as Vhagar leapt up from his hiding spot and caught Meleys by the neck. It is a bitter end for these two, and more so for Rhaenys, because Vhagar had been her daughter's dragon before her death. But it is clear that she and her dragon have flown their last fight, and it is the end of the road. As for Aemond, he's now 2-0 in sneak attacks and has dealt a serious blow to Rhaenyra, first by killing her son and his dragon, then by killing her next closest ally and her dragon. It is not looking good for Team Black at this point. They do not have many allies. They haven't raised an army. They've lost 2 dragons. Daemon is nowhere to be found. And now with the fall of Rook's Rest, they are landlocked by their enemies. So it is a tough situation that we'll have to see how they turn it around. As if they can turn it around. Corlys Velaryon has just had his wife killed in service to our queen, and I'm wondering if this is where doubt begins to creep into his head. He and Rhaenys were not just husband and wife, but very close friends, so he's going to take this very hard. Alicent on her own has just had a pregnancy scare, so we'll see if she and Criston Cole are going to ease up on their affair or double down on it. Sir Larry Strong suspects something, but we'll have to see what comes of that suspicion. Aegon has been burned by dragon fire and is most likely paralyzed after the fall. We don't know if Sunfire even survived it, but it is clear there will be no drinking or whoring in Aegon's future. With no son, and even if there was, Jaehaerys was too young to be of any use. But now it seems that Aemond might be the regent for the time being. So we'll be seeing a change of guard in King's Landing. How the council will react, as well as Larry Strong, who from all we've seen has never spoken to Aemond, is still up in the air. Cole may have it easier because he and Aemond bond over war tactics, but that's about that. Aemond is more assertive and accomplished than Aegon, so he won't need anyone to hold his hand while he rules. So Alicent is still without influence on the throne. These are the state of affairs after episode 3, and Rhaenyra has big questions to answer if she really wants to reclaim her right to the throne. So 3 questions after this episode. 1. How does Corlys Velaryon react to the death of Rhaenys? 2. Who rules in King's Landing with Aegon indisposed? And 3. Have you subscribed again to the Bootleg Corner? Now, for all of you feeling uncomfortable in choosing sides, remember this is a tale already told. It's a history of a house that once sat on the Iron Throne, and through deceit, lies, murder, greed and betrayal, they lost their dragons, their throne, and nearly went extinct in the process. This is still the Bootleg Corner. Don't forget to subscribe, keep it locked in, and we'll be back.